Welcome gamers to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming, and on today's episode, Epic finds itself in a little bit of trouble now that it's in a class action lawsuit with a data breach that happened with Fortnite, so we're going to take a little closer look into that. But has Square Enix been misleading us with what assumed to be an exclusive on the PS4 turned out to actually be on more than one platform with the game Final Fantasy VII? Join us as we take a closer look at that. And finally guys, Need for Speed Heat came out with the trailer, so a new game coming out for all you car racing fans, so stay tuned, we're going to analyze that. But as always guys, there's all that and more, so if you want to hang out, grab yourself a beer, and let's talk games. Welcome gamers to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We are on episode 17. My name is Craig Prowse, and joining me is the cilantro man himself, Mandrew Montemayor.
In a rare turn of events, third time's the charm, I guess.
That's what I'm told, and that's what we're sticking with. So guys, like the intro says, we're talking a little bit about Epic Games, who was recently in a class action lawsuit regarding a data breach that just happened. There was a bug that was in their system as far back as January goes, correct?
Yeah, and what it was certain people, you can go onto like the website, and then if you clicked on a person's, I think it's like their name or their ID, it shows like their email and their password just pops up like instantly.
Yeah, so it was a group called Checkpoint Research that discovered this, and what they found was that it had a vulnerability inside of Epic Games subdomain, so that makes it open to attacks from hackers. But what the class action lawsuit is actually regarding is the failure to, let's see exactly what it was. It was, the lawsuit is failure to maintain security and notifying in a timely manner all the people that were affected by it.
Yeah, I think that was a bigger thing, is that they kind of did know about it for a while, but they just didn't do anything about it for a bit. And I don't know if it's because they didn't know how to fix it, or maybe they just were like, all right, well, no one else knows about it. We'll have to put the resources in to fix it. Let's just sit and see what happens, and maybe no one will find out.
So, essentially what you can do when you have your vulnerability like that, and the big thing they were worried about was an XSS attack, which is a cross-site scripting, which is, like what Andrew was saying earlier, it's something that they can put into like an email link, so when it pops up, it looks legit, you click on it, that essentially grabs the username and the password for anybody that would be playing Fortnite to essentially use their credit card information, buy things that are online with that.
And Fortnite, as we all know, is the biggest game right now.
So, it was also able to listen into people's convos if that was a successful attack. But from what I was reading, I don't think anybody was actually affected by it. The lawsuit is basically saying that they could have been and weren't told or kept secure. And from what I've been reading, it has been patched so far. So they fixed it. It's done. Yeah. It's over with since the January. But the big thing that they haven't done is they haven't told any individuals if they've actually been affected by it.
Yeah, and so that's the big thing right now. Is I think it's like one person, or I think it said it started with one, and now it's like up to 100 people who are actively seeking something against it, though. But yeah, since it was, the start of the year, the ball's just kind of now rolling on that.
Yeah, we're now in August, and it's still a story. But the reason I wanted to bring it up, because like Andrew's saying, it is one of the most popular games. So even if no one was actually affected by it, that's millions of players that now have information that is now held by whoever could have been doing this. Because that's not to say no one did it. It's just no one has been shown to be affected by it, right?
Yeah, even still, I mean, for a company that's making money hand over fist on a free game, that's selling cosmetics, getting views, getting this, getting that, I mean, one, that's got to smash their image, but two, like, you're making this much money that you can't, these people can just break in like that,
Yeah, so, I mean, I kind of want to just ask you, do you think this class action lawsuit that they're just going to settle, it's just going to be a shitload of money that Fortnite's going to give out because they have a shitload of money to...
I think that's what's going to happen for sure. I think they're just going to settle out of court. I think maybe what might happen, though, is that similar to the Equifax recently, is that just so many people are claiming something against it that even if you are entitled to money, because so many people are claiming, you'll probably just get some small, like $100 or $50, $10. It might even be 10 cents or whatever.
Right, yeah, something. But
I'm on that Equifax train, hoping for my $120
I'm
collective.
trying to get my 10-cent payday. But it's just it's crazy because if it could happen to Fortnite, you know, a game that is just the biggest game right now, like it could just really happen. And again, it's you know, it's online gaming. It can really happen to anybody. But you know, what's the next one gonna be? I'm curious when the next big breach of security is gonna happen in a game, and it's kind of scary to think about that all your credit card information is taken, your username, your password, and
I know,
you
like
start racking up bills.
It's like I have a hard enough time, like when they send me a new debit card and it's got different info on it that I got to go and switch all my shit over manually, that now I would have to go and cancel all my cards, cancel absolutely everything, and then start it off from square one, and then dispute transactions and all that stuff. Like, just the kind of headache something like that would cause. The fact that that's even a possibility, I would just steer clear of it. Like, I don't play Fortnite as it is anyways, and that's something that I'm just like, oh, well, I definitely don't want to try it now, or I'm not going to jump in now. Like, I don't even want it on my console just because, like, I don't want to have to deal with that headache.
Better safe than sorry. So, not too much to really go in on it. It's just something kind of more to make you guys aware that it's potentially something that
is
could
developing,
happen.
yeah.
If you're a Fortnite player, look into it. You might be able to get compensated on something, but more will happen, you know, as the story progresses that we can report on. But I wanted to bring it to you guys' attention if anybody out there is a Fortnite player, which I know many of you guys are. So, it's kind of the end of that one. Now, I know, Andrew, this next one has been ruffling your feathers quite a bit. So,
it's just annoying.
I mean, we've had a couple episodes where we brought up Final Fantasy VII, but walk me through a little bit about what's been going on with some of the controversy with it.
All right, so I'm going to quarterback this one a little bit more. So, as far as it goes, Final Fantasy VII has so far always been stated to be only on PlayStation. When it first came out, it said first on Xbox. Now, I'm going to walk you through a few things here, though, that it's everything almost to the contrary. It's one of the worst kept secrets that I feel like maybe they should just come out and say something, or who knows what the deal is, and that's part of the conversation that I want to have is it okay to pay for paid exclusivity? But then again, what kind of exclusivity are we talking here, because we don't know yet. But just to start, it was announced first only on PlayStation last May, before I believe it was announced actually, or maybe it was slightly right after. Walmart of Canada, who has a notorious record for always leaking things, listed it on Xbox One for pre-order, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Then more current this year, GameStop Ireland, back in June, listed it for pre-order on Xbox One. Xbox Germany then said it was going to be playable on Xbox One. They posted a video. They said, come play this game. They took it down, saying that was an accident that should have launched. Why would that have ever been made or even be put together if it was never going to come to the console?
Yeah.
Prompting Square Enix to come out and just say, we have no plans for any other consoles at this time. Which you might think it ends there. I mean, it's already a couple that are kind of red flags. But even going back as far as after that, last month now, Media Market Spain, another store, retailer, listing it online for pre-order. And then just a few days ago, someone actually found a poster in Japan.
Yeah,
that is a market where Xbox doesn't generally sell, for Final Fantasy VII, that has the Xbox logo next to the PlayStation logo as consoles that it will be available on. One, again, like I said, why would they even have that on a Final Fantasy VII poster in a country where Microsoft or US hardware like that doesn't really sell? But two, that also led me to the idea to where we go down to our local GameStop, Walmart, whatever. They've had posters for, Borderlands 3 as an example for forever. This game comes out in March. It's one of the hugest games. There's no posters, there's no signage, there's nothing like that anywhere at all. There's not even very many video ads from what I've really seen, besides a couple of things that they've really shown. So what is the nature of this deal? Is it for marketing? Is the game going to come out a year later? What do you kind of think, maybe?
So even when we were talking about it a couple weeks ago, what happened was essentially they were saying it sounded like it was going to be an exclusive on the PS4, right? They said that there's, like Andrew's saying, there's no other plans right now for work on any other console. So it has this big pre-order bundle on the PlayStation that you can get Final Fantasy VII with. And then you start seeing all these other things of them listing it that it is coming, because it's right around the corner. It's March 3rd, 2020. So what I don't get is how they were able to do all this, all these posters, all this merchandise, or all these signs and stuff. But like, why would you not just say if the game is like? I don't get what's dragging their feet right now. Like, why would you not just say if the game is or isn't? And if it was, and it's on these posters, and it was official at some time, wouldn't the game be just as far in development as the Sony one is?
I wonder, and as a part of the Reddit, and I'm sure we probably may find a link or something like that and put it in there if you want to read it yourself. But someone that I saw who had a very interesting idea said that, as we know, PlayStation obviously probably did have some sort of exclusive maybe deal as far as like
as they normally do.
Yeah, for any sort of media, commercials, that sort of thing. Maybe not release date, but something like that. And there was the rumor that
just like Call of Duty. Like Call of Duty's getting early access before Xbox is with a beta test.
Exactly.
So
all the
cover familiar.
Exactly. So there was the rumor though that Final Fantasy VII was supposed to release this year. But then there was the rumor that it got delayed. So I wonder if the original deal that they had signed for was for everything to say this year. And since the game got pushed back, the deal would not cover that.
And that would
so that's why there's no marketing material out, is because any marketing material they would have to put out with the correct release date would have to have Xbox's logo saying it's releasing with this game at this time frame, at that sort of thing. I mean, it's all kind of speculation, but when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different, you can't have all these places making the same mistake. Especially, I get that the medium market of Spain is a smaller company, but when you have Xbox, GameStop, Walmart, all these places accidentally releasing things, that you can't just have everyone, sorry, it was an accident.
There can't be that many different locations and territory that all have certain signage that say one thing. So that would make sense. What doesn't make sense, I guess, is Square's Enix, their response of saying, we have no plans for any further consoles. Why wouldn't you just say it's going to come out a year different?
That's
what I don't get. Like, where's their PR coming from to, like, spin it?
Maybe it's a part of the PlayStation deal for more people to pre-order, because this game, if people think it's only going to come out on PlayStation, would sell PlayStation 4s.
Yeah.
But the thing that we'll find out, I guess, as the months go on, is because this game will sell gangbusters no matter what, is that if that deal were to expire, like maybe that other Reddit comment said, after November, after whatever the original release date would be, and then they're allowed to say, hey, whatever, even between December and March, that game would still skyrocket pre-orders. I don't even know if that would hurt anybody, because anyone who's going to get it on Xbox would go out and get it. I would go out and just get it the same day. The fact that I didn't know about it until 3 months ahead of time doesn't bug me at all. Yeah, it bugs me that this whole deal is so convoluted in what is exclusive and not exclusive, and paying for things like that, to where people just don't know. That's what leaves the bad taste in my mouth, and that's, I mean, I guess that's business as usual.
Well,
but
doesn't it seem like it's always Sony that's getting the
Microsoft has done it too, because they did it with not the last Tomb Raider, but the one before that.
But how long though? I mean, it was nothing more than 6 months, if that.
I think still,
a year, did they?
I don't think it was a year, but still, the fact that they couldn't say anything for the longest time, but then one day, here it is. I just think things like that are bad practice. If it is going to be something that's launching a year later, then just come out and say it.
Yeah, especially if it didn't make sense, because Final Fantasy VII just came out on the old one. Just came out on the Xbox One, so
every Final Fantasy from 7 on.
There's no limit anymore to what it
11,
can launch on, I guess, or what it can at least be played on. But apparently, launching is the issue that we're having. Is it's going to launch on the PS4 a year in advance of the Xbox One. I mean, that kind of sucks.
For note, on that Reddit poster or on that Japanese poster, it does have the Xbox next to the original release date, just like the PlayStation, of March 3rd, 2020.
Yeah, same day. They had the same exact date.
And some of these the other leaks have had it as the same day and date as what the PlayStation would be. So who knows if that's even the case.
Yeah, it's very weird stuff where Square's, I mean, what do they have to lose by just saying that, the game is coming, or or at least just saying expect development later on. They were flat out said, we expect nothing for other consoles, but if it is coming, my thought would be it's just as far as the PlayStation one is. So why to say there's no further plans for it doesn't make any sense because it would have to be just as far along as the Sony one, so they would be in development. So if that is the case, then that's a flat out lie. That's what I don't like.
I'm sure that it's just some convoluted contract so that they have the stipulations that say, oh, it's only on PlayStation.
Comment. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like what you're saying, if that is the case, is a lie at that point.
I don't know. Pretty much the story is at this point that it's the worst kept secret. That if it doesn't come to Xbox, I will literally walk outside and just smash my next Xbox and buy another. And that's just a deal that I'll make to the viewers.
I don't think I can wait a year, man. I gotta get
I'll wait.
PS4.
I'll wait for sure.
Oh, I'll be playing it day one. I'm with you on that one. That I could see how that was kind of rough because you were on this one for a minute while we were talking. I was like, all right, I can't wait to see how Andrew's gonna interpret it.
But, it's just crazy. Every week there's just a new person. Like next week you're gonna get it from like a leaked email from like the head executive of Square Enix. Like, don't let anybody know. And then, oh, sorry, that will a typo and on the autocorrect on my phone.
It's gonna be a picture on Twitch of the guy playing it on an Xbox.
Yeah,
like, oops, hide it. Delete, abort. But how do you guys feel about that? You know, you guys are probably just as much Final Fantasy VII fans as we are. You know, did you plan to originally just buy it on the PlayStation? Did you think it was exclusive? Are you gonna wait a year if that is the case to get it, or is Square and Sony, you know, the best kept secret that we all know about? It's very odd. So I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on how this situation is developing, and I'm sure the more we hear about it, the more me and Andrew are gonna dive into it in future episodes and talk about it because we love Final Fantasy VII. So with that, Andrew, I think this might be the first time in a while we're actually talking about a game coming out and being able to reflect on some actual trailer that we got to see. So Need for Speed Heat trailer just came out, and I kind of liked it because it gave you a release date, November 8th, 2019. So that is right around the corner, and that's going to launch on the PC, Xbox, and PS4.
Again, to jump in, I do like that more and more games are doing this, where a few months out, let's drop it, let's announce it. It's not, I have to wait 2 years for this game. I have to watch it at 3 E3s, just... We're here. We're now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not a big race car driver kind of guy.
I mean, neither, but I appreciate that.
I like the fact that it's coming. It's right there. Didn't hear about it, and now anyone that was excited for it can get more excited about it because. So this is an EA game, guys. It's developed by Ghost Games. It's the 16th one in the series. I didn't know there was that many Need for Speeds.
Dude, there's a ton of Need for Speeds, and I feel like that game kind of. I don't know if it died with it, but I felt like it took off, but I felt like it really took off about the same time the Fast and the Furious was kind of taking off.
Or at least helped the momentum of it, you know what I mean? Like, one of them helped the other one. So, the thing that's kind of discrediting here is, from what I've been reading and gathering and watching, is the last few Need for Speeds haven't been great. So this thing's already kind of got...
They've been okay.
Yeah, it's already kind of... It's got to live up to some hype because everyone's saying, no, there hasn't been a good one in years. And the company that's making this one is responsible for the last 3. So there was a quote with the creative director, Riley Cooper, who was promising that this game is going to step it up and they're going to do a lot more in terms of the customization you can do in the games. Before I get into more what the game's about, Andrew, you saw the trailer. How'd the trailer look to you?
I mean, I thought it looked good. It's colorful. I mean, it's racing.
Yeah,
it is
really
what it is. I'll say
bright.
that I'm not someone who's like in. I haven't really delved into them because I don't think they're interesting. But like Forza or anything like that, I guess maybe I should give it a try. But I mean, I could always use like a good racing game. It's been a long time since I've been into one, since Need for Speed or like Midnight Club, which they haven't made one of those in years. Yeah,
because I remember remembering like Hot Pursuit 2.
Yeah,
on like PS2, I think.
Just even Need for Speed Underground, all of it. That's where it really took off for me. So I don't think I would mind getting back into one of those because I don't have anything else like that in my catalog that I don't think I would play online against people because that was never my interest. But I do.
You can race for pinks?
Yeah, but I do like just driving around, cruising, or, you know, racing like a computer or whatever. I'm sure there's tons of people out there who kick my ass, so that's why I don't want to do it. But even in Grand Theft Auto, that's always some of my favorite things. It's just driving the streets, just driving and just cruising. And sometimes that's nice. You turn the radio on or you put your own custom Spotify list or something like that on.
Relax.
So I wouldn't mind something like that because every day before I jump into my next major game as part of my kind of
game.
Before my ritual, I always have a warm-up game. My warm-up game has always been Skate.
I was going to say Skate, yeah.
But when I had Grand Theft Auto, it was Grand Theft Auto, not killing anyone, but I just really enjoyed driving around.
The game, looking at the map. So if any of you guys have seen the trailer, and we'll post the trailer in the description, it does show off this kind of night and day system, and it shows off again that the police are going to be definitely a part of what you're interacting with. So it's got the day and night system, and this is taking place in the fictional town of Palm City. Now, during the daytime, you're going to be competing in these competitions that are called Speed Hunters Showdown. And that's going to be the way you generate cash. You're going to be doing take on all these races where you can accumulate money to get parts and customize your vehicles.
Just same old Need for Speed.
Half the fun of what normally you would do in a racing game, but. So during the night, though, you're going to be collecting from pretty much just like building a reputation for yourself, and it's going to be in these underground racing series that they have. And I guess this is where the kind of corrupt cop that you kind of see in the trailer when he's like yelling at him. He's like, "Give me your." What was he asking for?
I forget what he's asking for.
He said something funny, but this is kind of where that shines. So you're gonna have races that go between the city and obviously on like the highway and stuff like that and the interstate. But the one big thing I did want to note on this, and I don't know if you were reading this, is they're flat out saying that there's going to be no loot boxes in this game. Did you read that?
No, I didn't see that, but that would be really, really nice.
They were saying how I don't know if they were really bundled down, and you guys, if you're Need for Speed players, let me know. But they were saying old games had it, and this is an EA game, so know how EA is under some scrutiny right now for loot boxes. This game will not have it. Instead, what they're doing is they're going to have post-launch DLC. Oh, you
mean paid for surprises?
Paid for surprises. So they're going to have post-launch DLC that is called the Car Pack, and they're going to have Time Saver, which is essentially going to be key locations on the map unlocked for you. So not a bad segue, I guess, especially in line with this whole loot box scenario right now where everyone's kind of giving a lot of people shit that offer that.
Hopefully it's just not a grind then, because I did see the time saver thingy, and I was like, damn, I hope it's not one of these things where now the game's a fucking grind unless I buy this time saver thing.
But if you're a guy that likes to play, this is the game you're waiting for, and you can invest all your time into.
But then, the comparison I have to put it to is imagine Assassin's Creed Odyssey, how long it took you to get to where you were with the time saver level up XP thing. Now imagine playing that game without that bonus XP. Like, where do you think you would have been at, and how much longer would it have fucking taken?
Yeah, but under the...
Because even towards the end, I felt like
it's a different concept, though. I mean, I'm not a driving... I wouldn't want to grind races, but if that's the kind of player you are, then that might be up your alley.
It's a Mario situation, so...
It's Mario. So the Need for Speed Heat, guys, if that's up your alley, definitely go check it out.
Let's look into it. I'm definitely down to give it some more, and I mean... Again, part of the beauty of EA, one of the things that they do right is the EA access. And so you could have, they haven't said anything as far as it's been. All their games have been on EA access. Usually you get some sort of time frame with it.
Or at least a discount on it.
Yeah, so provided this game, maybe you get a couple hours or something like that, just get your feet wet, see what it's all about, and maybe see if it is, the real deal for you, if Need for Speed has come back, or if it's just, the same whatever that it's been the past few years.
I do want to say this too. Because I did start playing one of the new Forza Horizon games. I don't know if
I just downloaded it and I haven't tried it. I want to try it. One of them's games with gold starting today.
Okay,
Forza Horizon 6.
Whatever one I played looked really fucking good.
No, those games are good. Those games are gorgeous.
Do you think Need for Speed lands in this kind of niche where it's kind of more cartoony looking? Right? Didn't the trailer kind of come off more... I guess Fortnite versus PUBG-ish.
Like Sunset Overdrive with all the colors and stuff like that. I mean, I don't mind it, and I think there's a market for both because there are games like that. Again, like Fortnite, PUBG, two very different games, and there's a huge market for both. And Fortnite, which is the more cartoony game, is the one that dominates PUBG by all. But I personally love PUBG more. So
yeah, I'm really curious for it. It looks good. You guys let us know what you think. Because the main thing with a lot of people are criticizing is. Okay, another Need for Speed game. Will it be good? The last one, I think, came out in 2017. So it's been a couple years. And from what he's promising, Riley Cooper, he's saying that they're going to pull out all the stops and they're going to make this game a great experience. So that is for you guys to decide.
And when they're dog shit, you just get burned out after so many.
Ooh, he's making puns and jokes.
It wasn't good, but...
I liked it. In my heart, it's always going to matter. So that's kind of our main stories, guys. Again, nothing too big, too crazy.
Slow just news week, but
kind
some
of
things.
You guys aware of it. So let's move into a little riff, a little raff, a little tit for tat. So Andrew, would you like to start us off, or would you like me to go first?
Sure, I'll actually start with a riff.
Okay.
You can start because I got a burp now.
Okay,
Excuse
so
me.
I wanted to bring to everyone's attention, if you weren't aware of it, anyone that's a fan of PlayStation or you own one, Sony has just released 4 new designs for controllers. They're going to be releasing in the fall of 2019.
I think they look great.
This coming, yes, right around the corner. They look really good. So the colors are electric purple, the red camouflage, the titanium blue, and rose gold. Now, we were talking earlier. The rose gold is popular.
Oh, I think the rose gold looks great.
And then you can definitely accessorize that thing with like an iPhone. It's because it's the same exact color.
Isn't there like a headset that matches it?
Yeah, the headset that's coming out with it, they're relaunching it to match it, and the headset's gonna come out at $99.99, and all 4 of the controllers are launching at $64.99. So if you're interested in getting a new controller, before the end of the year, 4 new options are available to you. So I would say check it out.
I think what's kind of weird is the fact that I don't notice it as much for PlayStation, but Xbox always has all these crazy controls, all these crazy colors, all this whatever.
Customize your controller and put sports teams on it and blah blah blah.
Not even just that, like it's like Witcher controller, Gears controller, Fallout controller, all these special, all these themes for all these games, and I don't ever really see like that many for PlayStation. And I feel like there's more consoles too for like the Xbox. Like there's even like the Minecraft like green one and shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird, but those ones do look good. I do like the rose gold though.
Did the Spider-Man bundle with PS4 was that a box theme? Was it paint on it, or was it just the black one that came with the game?
I would have to look at it, but
that would have been cool.
I think there was a symbol on it for sure, but I know there's also like I think there's like a Death Stranding one. Doesn't that Final Fantasy one come with one or something, or is that just something else?
I don't know. I don't remember. Oh, speaking of Death Stranding though, maybe I missed something. I think that November 8th date for Need for Speed is the same day that Death Stranding comes out. I'm curious if that's going to fuck up any of its sales.
Yeah,
so,
no, that's.
I'm so glad you said that, because I'm like, I know I wrote something down about Death Stranding, and that was it. So, so a couple of controller guys, go check them out if you're interested in or have a Sony PS. Oh,
so I have Tim Longo, who is the creative director at 343 and on Halo Infinite, has actually left the studio today.
Oh, yep, I was.
So again, just thought I'd bring it up because I hope it's not discerning news. I hope that it's just the fact that maybe the game's done. It's not weird for people to finish a job and then move on to the next big thing for them.
Go look at
and I hope
new.
that that's the case, especially because right now I feel like that this next game is really going to decide kind of where Halo goes, whether it just kind of fades away, or I don't think anything will ever really capture the days of. But then again, maybe it's just my age bracket, because maybe Fortnite is that game.
Yeah,
I
know what you're thinking, yeah.
But I don't think that it's the same as when Call of Duty first launched, when Halo first launched, when Gears first launched. Those were a spectacle where I felt...
Yeah, we're in existing franchises now. I'm curious what the next one's going to be, the pop. And
yeah, that's really going to... Yeah, that's going to cause people to line up at midnight all the way... A huge line. Everyone's out there waiting for them. I don't think there's been anything like that in a while, so I would like to see something else like that, and hopefully, I don't think that'll be it, but...
Well, even it's hard to say, even, games that make people line up, is because a lot of these new games that are the biggest craze are free. You know what I mean? It's a...
That too, you can buy it digital.
Yeah, you jump on those, so yeah, interesting stuff. I hope the best for the guy. I hope he's good to go.
I'm sure he'll get something great no matter where he goes.
Yep. Was that all on him?
Yeah, no, that's all that has. It's just that he left. There wasn't really too much a kind of statement or anything like that. Just typical good luck.
That's some good luck from a good old boy. I wanted to bring up just a riff. If you guys, so a couple episodes back, Andrew and I both did an episode where we both beat Mortal Kombat 11. If any of you guys are still playing that or interested, the DLC for Nightwolf just dropped on the 13th.
Oh, I hate his design. It's so ugly.
But you like him as a character, yes?
Yeah, no, I think Nightwolf's always been cool, but I think his design is terrible. One of his fatalities, I don't remember what it is, because I don't have the DLC, but I always go and watch whatever the new fatalities and like the story endings are for the characters and stuff, because I'm Mortal Kombat is my shit. Like, that's something I try to stay in the lore, in the know.
Every day, right?
Yeah, but I don't play it every day. But I'll watch the shit out of anything from Mortal Kombat. But yeah, his design looks like shit.
So I thought when I played it, he played it. It was a really good game. It was really fun to play. I believe it comes with the combat pack. So if you have that and you on MK11, it should be a character that you should be able to get. And then I think by the end of this year, there's a few more they're going to be dropping. So as they come, I'll pepper them in, and you guys can know who that is and when to get them. So August 13th, which was a couple days ago, is now available if you guys are still playing.
Yeah, people have been actually clamoring for them
Nightwolf.
too. So yeah, if you were into Nightwolf, go ahead and download them in case you didn't know. But yeah, people have been crazy about them.
What else you got? Big player pimping?
Do you have any more? Because I got two.
No, I'm done with mine.
All right, I'll go ahead and finish up mine really quick.
I mean, I could, but I won't. But I won't.
Oh, okay. Well, I will just direct people. You know what? We'll have to post a link, or you can just find it yourself. I forgot to write it down. But Medieval, again, the game that's coming out in October. Yeah, Halloween. Classic PlayStation. They're doing the remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it, of that game. They actually posted a pretty cool behind the scenes video. It's not very long. With the they're called Other Oceans, so with the people who are actually making the game and behind the project. So they posted a behind the scenes, and so I just want to bring that to anyone's attention. If you're into anything like that, like me and Craig love watching behind the scenes shit of how they make games, or like how they did that God of War one or something like that.
My day.
Go check it out. It's a pretty cool little video. I don't think it was very long, but either way, it's a pretty cool like little watch just to check out. And so I thought that was something worth bringing up.
Is it coming out from the developers and the publishers, or is it like a third-party person going in behind the scenes watching them?
No, it's them themselves.
Okay, cool.
It's Other Ocean, them themselves actually sitting there. Actually, it doesn't say because I didn't actually see the channel. I just clicked on the link, but it's them actually talking to the thing. I didn't hear anyone asking questions, so I see it. It seems like it's probably just from them doing whatever.
I mean, gone are the days when you used to go buy a physical game and it used to come with some bonus features, and you got the behind-the-scenes.
That's why I used to. Every Mortal Kombat used to always have all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff for all of them. And I personally enjoy watching the behind the scenes of any game.
Love it.
Yeah,
I love getting a little bang for my buck.
And the final thing I wanted to bring up is that on Twitch, as I'm sure we talked about the other day, but I'm sure you forgot about it. What? Ninja's channel.
Is it the
with his 14.7 million followers, accidentally posted porn and was streaming porn to his channel.
Is it? He accidentally posted it, or his channel was left open as promotion? Is what
he
I
doesn't.
thought.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm getting to.
Okay,
is he doesn't use the channel anymore, of course, because of that deal where he's exclusively on Mixer. But what they do with their channels,
millions of dollars,
yeah, hand over fist,
dude.
So what they do,
which other people watching this porn on his thing were doing hand over fist.
Yeah, it's something over fist. So what they do is on these bigger channels, they find other channels that are maybe up and coming or kind of fitting the quality of what it should be, what would the growth for it, and they'll promote the channel. And someone was streaming like porn 24/7, and they happened to put their category as Fortnite, and without looking, because they had a lot of viewers, I guess, the algorithm promoted it straight to his channel. And so I know he put out,
someone got fired.
I'm sure. I know that he, I forget his name. It's like Tyler like Levins or something. Ninja's actual name, yeah. He's like, I wish they would just not use my channel at all. Especially since I find it even in worse and bad taste, yeah. The fact that he is not using it, it's a very open deal that he's exclusively on Mixer. If it was a possibility that he can come back anytime soon within, I guess we don't know the year.
Yeah,
but the fact that they're even having his channel active just to kind of promote people, I think it's kind of like a greedy move, because people who aren't in the know, I wonder if Ninja's streaming. There's 14.7 million followers. How many of those people were kids?
Yeah, 30,000% of that. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they got to see fucking how Craig's mom made her first million.
Well, a slight million. It was, she's in a class action lawsuit herself. We're not going to get into that. It's one of those things that we're like, I'm of two minds. Did they leave it open so that more people would keep typing in Ninja's name and look it up and get the traction?
I'm sure.
And then the other one is, why is nobody monetizing this? Why, or at least keeping an eye on this? Why did it get so far? Because it wasn't an hour that there was nonstop porn pumping, fist bumping action. It was like the majority of a day.
Yeah, it was a long time. It wasn't anything short. Yeah.
How do you let that slip? So definitely,
even still, I'm pretty sure that it's against their terms of service to even have like porn, because I think they've even blocked girls from like showing too much, wearing too short shorts or whatever. I forget what they call. They call them like boob streamers or whatever.
Hold on. What are they?
Yeah.
I need sites, names, numbers.
Whatever the name is for them. Either way, there's a terms of service that I don't think you can even have porn, let alone too skimpy of an outfit, and be on Twitch. That how did that get on there in the first place?
And for how long? And And he has to go and make an apology
The
without
fact-
working with Mixer? He's the
fact
one going,
that-
hey guys, sorry if you signed into that. That's not my fault. And he's doing the public apology?
Even still, the fact that that guy's channel had to get so popular for it to get recommended.
Yeah.
So that doesn't just mean that he had 100 followers. He had a shit ton of people watching it against whatever the terms and service are. And so it got past all that and then got promoted even higher.
I think it's hilarious. I mean, it's. I think that's the funniest thing.
It's funny, but it's
Fucking, I don't even know if Twitch is even. I'm sure they have by now. I don't know what it was though. Like an actual public apology of going, hey.
I didn't read if there was an apology or not. As far as I can tell, I don't think I saw anything, but
Yeah, at the time I remember seeing it, I just thought it was hilarious. I'm like, jeez Louise.
yeah, it's a funny story.
And a great story it was. But let's now move into the questions of the week. And that is submitted by the fans watching it. You guys can submit your questions and we are more than happy. Woo! Look at that. We are more than happy to answer them. And let me pull a couple of these bad boys up. Let's see. So,
Who's first?
first comes from a near and dear friend, Christian Vargas. He's always here for us when we need him the most.
Before we read that question, I do just want to add, we're grateful for every question you guys answer. Answer that you put in. We actually enjoy reading all of them, your responses, and then just anything you throw in. This is probably one of our favorite segments. So please, anything you put in there, we greatly appreciate any of it.
Keep them coming, guys. So, Christian Vargas asks, who is your favorite video game villain of all time and why? Now, this is kind of funny because we did just do a recent video based on top 5
Shameful plug.
villains. Again, shameful plugging, baby. So, Andrew, you want to start? You want me to start?
I will start, and again, with a shameful plug. Go watch our other video. I will stick to my guns, literally, with Revolver Ocelot from Metal Gear Solid 3.
Or are you sticking to your puns?
Oh, I could have been sticking to that, too.
Whew,
But
they're coming, baby.
Revolver Ocelot, Metal Gear Solid 3, just absolutely does everything for me. Great dialogue, great motives, just so over the top. He just steals the scene with every time he is in it. So I cannot stress enough, just that's what makes that game my favorite Metal Gear game, is him in that game.
And that's MGS3.
Snake Eater.
Snake Eater. Nice. Love the question, and I've got to divert a little bit from my original top 5 simply because when I made that list, that was based on...
Go watch it.
On characters with audio and dialogue and some very good scenes, pretty much based on modern day graphics and stuff. But my overall favorite character has always been Sephiroth, and to answer your question, why, is because his story is so interesting, he's so unique, he's so badass, and the reason he wasn't in that original list is because I feel Final Fantasy VII, when you played the game on the original PlayStation or on Xbox Now or PlayStation 4 or Switch, the story is really revolving around the characters in the party, right? Cloud, Tifa, Barret, right? That's what kind of moved that game along. Sephiroth, had no real lines, right? There's no audio, but as time went on, he was reintroduced in games like Kingdom Hearts, where he's an optional boss that's harder than the main guy. Awesome. He was in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, the movie, where
badass voice actor.
Dude, fantastic, and you can see him move the way he was originally always meant to move.
I can understand that. How do you compare a game from 1990 to whatever to how many villains have come out in 2019 with full voice acting and mocap and whatever? There are some that can stand the test of time, but for him, I think what we'll really see the resurgence, where I'm sure you're leading, is going to be the remake.
When that remake comes out, you're going to see Sephiroth the way he was always originally, intended to be. He's gained the look. His look is just iconic. His sword is iconic.
Oh, I love that short scene that they showed him into. I
forget
what
the fire going.
Yeah, I forget what he's saying to him. And something about giving up or something, and then he just disappears like that when he goes to attack him.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's cool. That's the Sephiroth I picture in my head. And so that's the thing, is I'm sure for you, when you play those games, you picture that Sephiroth because you've watched these movies, you know his voice acting, so you can kind of picture how the scene would play out in your head. Now actually getting to see it how you're thinking it is really going to be, you're going to see him on a lot more lists.
Realized.
And I'll probably even rearrange my top 5 once I see him.
And there's just, I don't know, there's no wrong answer, I guess, when it's your own opinion, but I am curious, Christian, what your top favorite villain is, because we can have a nice conversation on that. Next, guys, we go into Super Slim 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Let me know.
I hope that's how he says it.
If 1 through 8 was taken on that name and you literally had to go to 9, or if you were just too lazy and jumped straight to 9 because you knew it wasn't taken.
He's just quick on the dial on that.
Because I'm curious of that.
So he asks a question, which is pretty just direct. What was the worst game you have ever played? You want to start? You want me to start?
I'll go first. So
there it was. I knew it was coming.
Kingdom Hearts 3. Ugh. Obviously, most recently, terrible. I had to go back, and I'm thinking in my head now too. Was Kingdom Hearts 1 a good game? Did I really enjoy it, or did I just beat it at the time and I kind of thought it was cool? But that's not going to be my true answer. My true answer is going to be Jaws number 1. Craig, have you partaken?
I want to say I've dabbled on, because I have a modded Wii, and I go through play a bunch of old Wii games. I don't remember it being great.
It's terrible. I just played it this.
It's terrible. Obviously, if it's his worst game of all time.
Yeah, I just played it this past year because I modded somebody's Nintendo Classic for them, and it was a list. And I go through and I'm checking all the games that they want, and for some reason, this was a game that they wanted. And so,
like, asked for by name.
Yeah,
make sure Jaws is on there.
It is on their list of games, and so I'm trying to, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. So you're like a scuba diver in like a static screen, and you're like killing like jellyfish and manta rays and shit like that. And there's little sharks that are swimming around, and you can kind of kill them. It takes a lot of like harpoons, and you can only go like left to right, and they're dropping like seashells. You're collecting seashells and like stars for like points and shit. And the boat's up top, but you can't go to it, I don't think. And there's occasionally a big fucking Jaws that comes through, and you can't kill it, you can't hurt it. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. There's no directions, no directive. I have no clue what's going on. Blockbuster got fucking sued, so I can't read the manual. I have no clue what to do. I literally had to like YouTube, like, what am I doing in this fucking game to make sure it's even working right? And sure enough, it was. And God willing, he'll strike me down before I play that game ever again in my life.
Yeah, the fact that somebody went out of their way to want that on there, I want to know what his memory of that was. Him going, oh man, Jaws, best game.
Let's just say that game was amongst other dog shit on that one, and it just happened to be the worst one.
So, a worst game that I can think of that I remember playing was, and it took me a minute to think of a couple because there's a lot of dog shit games out there, but Superman 64 has to be one of the worst games I've ever played. It's, when you buy a Superman game or any comic movie, you hope that they're good, but, you know, as history shows, most superhero games aren't good up until recently, you know, with the start of Arkham. And Superman was no exception. It's a shitty game where, if I'm remembering correctly, Luthor puts Superman in like a digital world, and he makes him fly around through like green loops.
I've never played it, but I've seen it, and it looks terrible.
I think it's almost on everyone's worst game list.
Yeah, that's always on everyone's.
It's just dog shit, so don't ever play it. I thought I had it, but I'm not 100% sure. If I do, I'm gonna make Andrew play it tonight, and
fuck that.
That'll be the end of it. But what's your favorite worst game? What's your worst game that you've ever played? Because
that's always an interesting topic, because it's always just so many different opinions out there.
Because you may have never played what I played. I may never played what you played, but I am curious what that is. So thank you for the question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Super slim. Our next question, guys, comes from an old time friend of the show, Connor McGregor Post Malone, and he asks, let's see, what game do you love that no one else you know seems to have ever heard of, played, or refuses to try? And then he adds a little context saying, inspired by the Skies of Arcadia on Dreamcast, which is probably my all-time favorite game, but I've never met anyone else who has played it and can't seem to convince anyone else to try it. Alternatively, if you guys have played it and want to just talk about how great it is, I'm down for that. So I wish I have, but I haven't. Have you ever played it?
No, I think I've heard of it, and I've seen people, I think, talk, if I'm thinking of the same game, talk about it with, you know, that they really like it, and that it is a good game. But again, yeah, that's a game I could ask any of my friends, and I don't think anyone would have ever played that one.
I don't think so.
I mean,
Arcadia sounds familiar. I can't recall Skies of Arcadia. So
yeah, but then I remind like Legends of Legaia, or you know, there's so many other
Legends of Legaia.
There's so many other games out there with names that I'm like, oh, maybe I did, but I know for sure I did not. I would say for me it'd probably be Condemned, which was also shameless plug in that top 5 list of my villains, because I've never met another person who's actually played it. I don't really know that many people who talk about it, let alone anyone who talks about it with a fond memory for a game that I love. I actually remember going out and buying this game from a Hastings we have here for a friend to play it because it was very cheap. It was only like $5-10 because this was years afterwards, because I wanted him to try because he was looking for a new game, and he said he wanted something kind of like detective-y, where I really enjoyed it, and I liked the aspects of that game that I haven't heard anyone else. Did you happen to play it? I remember, so.
I thought I owned it, but I can't recall ever playing it. Again, I have a couple games I've never played. I thought I had it.
See, everyone remembers the box art.
Yeah, or maybe it was just when I worked at a game store and I just remember putting it away all the time because I can recall it, but no. Do you think the genre is what turned people off from going out and getting it in a world where there's Resident Evil kind of or Silent Hill taking that space?
I have no clue what turned people off about that game, and maybe I'd have to go back and look at some things.
I'd love to do that.
So I remember it being good, and maybe a retrospective would help me out with that, because I remember being good. I love the gameplay of it. I like the themes of it. I'm sure that the gameplay has not aged well in terms of what we have today, so that's a different topic. But as for why, it spawned a sequel, but the sequel kind of did the things that sequels do, where they abandoned a lot of what made the first one really cool. So I remember not liking the sequel as much, specifically for that reason. So that could have just been that nail in the coffin right there for it.
Yeah, I love that pick, man. Because again, I'd like to go back and play it, and if I remember right, I think Denny played it. I think he really enjoyed that game.
I'd have to ask him about it. I would love to hear that.
I want to hear that too. But a game that it's hard for me to pick a game that I think no one's heard of, because even if in my group of friends had like Legend of Gaia or like a Grandia, in the wider scale of things, I think a lot of gamers have heard of that. So I'll kind of go to more of a game where I think people refuse to try. Was Mass Effect Andromeda.
My favorite game.
You hate that fucking game. It gets a lot of shit and a lot of forums and stuff that Andrew and I read on, even like groups on Facebook. Anytime someone mentions this game, it usually gets shit on, and
I've seen.
I don't get why.
I will say lately it's been a little more divisive.
Well, because.
But
Mass
it's
Effect
mostly
originally
shitting on,
is a great game that is kind of fills that Star Wars kind of space, and all Mass Effect Andromeda did was add more to the pile. But I guess what people didn't care for was the graphics, and again, I've played old shitty games, so graphics aren't the deciding factor to me when I'm playing a game,
right?
Because I really did enjoy the storyline. I liked the alien races. I loved the combat mechanics. I wish that was actually in some of the original Mass Effect games, because I thought that's where the game shined. So I don't think anyone gives it a fair shot, and I guess I get why, because of how much hype was behind it and how lackluster it was to, I guess, the average fan. I enjoyed it.
Maybe I think I put like 5-6 hours into it, and it didn't click with me, and so I just didn't want to keep it anymore. I was like, hey, if it's not going to click now,
that's
I don't
fair.
think it's going to click.
I don't think anybody should play a game more than they need to if it doesn't click originally, right? And that goes with even the greatest games of all time. If you don't like it, move on. But to answer your question, Condemned and Mass Effect Andromeda would be two games that underrated or maybe looked over, and I think maybe unfairly judged. So, excellent question, Connor. Keep them coming in, because you got the questions that we like to answer. Next question, guys, comes from, and I hope I'm saying it right, Lamont Boucherville.
Oh, I hope it's really cool French, like
dude,
De La Tour d'Orive, like King of the Hill, that very nice Southern French aristocrat. I would love that. Let me know how to pronounce that name.
I hope that's how he introduces himself, that Boucherville. So, again, he has a very direct question as well. What's your favorite Switch game? Now, Andrew's only played a handful of titles.
Let me start. Yeah. So, since I've only played a handful of titles, because I've not bought my Switch yet, because I've been waiting, but I love any of the 2D Marios that I played so far. It doesn't even matter which one it is. Those always get me instantly, especially being able to play with somebody else. That's just where Nintendo, that's their bread and butter. They have me hook, line, and sinker every time.
You gotta get Mario Maker 2. That'll just keep you running for days.
Oh, that would actually be really cool. I wouldn't build anything, but I would love to try people's levels.
I've been just following a bunch on it, and there's so many levels, and there's certain people that you can just follow, because that's the cool thing about it. You can follow certain builders, and a lot of people are just saying that these guys have like a Nintendo style skill to it. So constantly upload a 2D Marvel game.
I do find myself doing that all the time, watching on YouTube, even though I don't play the game, watching the Mario Maker levels, the hard ass levels that no one's beaten or really hard to beat.
Fire sticks. It was just recently, like, I don't know if it was like a Facebook or something, but it's that level where everything's just those big fire sticks. And
and he's just
you're oh God,
yeah,
you're
just holding
it's
just like barely in and out. Yeah, no, that I've seen that. So
I'm curious if that's the guy that made it beating it, or if it's just someone that is beating that level.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Imagine like beating a level you think is hard as fuck, and then someone just beats it.
Right, and again, I guess maybe that's what the point is for it. I played a few more Switch games, but I won't lie to you. When you're juggling, playing an Xbox, a PS4, and a Switch, it's hard to give everyone their fair share. I mainly play on the Xbox, so I've played some Switch games, and so far my favorite has been the one most recently beat is the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. It very much filled that nostalgia gap that I've been waiting for from the original 2. I will give a good honorable mention to Mario Rabbids. That game, for being an RPG, introduced some very
gorgeous game.
Fantastic to look at. Some new mechanics to introduce itself with the whole bouncing and jumping. And I love any RPG Mario game that Luigi's in. And Luigi's surprisingly the better character.
I love Luigi when he gets his due.
I love it. So
the year Luigi never ends.
Please don't. But games that I guess an honorable mention to that I would like to maybe put in that list one day, because I haven't beaten Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I know everyone's raving about. And a game that would be more up my alley is Octopath, which I'm really looking forward to. So, and again, we were talking earlier, there's a lot of Switch games coming out soon that might top that list, because we have Pokemon coming out, we have Link's Awakening, and we have Luigi's Mansion. Yeah. So, just in a couple months, and that whole list could change. So
yeah, I mean, Luigi's Mansion was a great game before, so as long as it stands up still and it's your cup of tea, then I would definitely jump in.
He's saying he's going to buy a Switch just for a game, so maybe that'll be his favorite once he gets it and starts playing it. So, Lamont Boucherville, thank you for the question. And guys, we're going to end it with our last question from Daniel Backstrom. And Daniel Backstrom asked, since you guys brought up LOTR, which is Lord of the Rings games, do you think with Amazon buying the rights to make new LOTR games, or I'm sorry, LOTR shows / movies, it could launch new games for Lord of the Rings universe? It's been 15 plus years since they actually had a decent game come out. Battle for Middle Earth, before that, Return of the King, based on the movies. Correction on the question, right? Because if you're not counting Shadow of Middle Earth and
Shadow of Mordor
and War for Mordor, then maybe it has been 15 years.
It's been 15. I think those games
I definitely count.
Shadow was okay. It went on too long. War of Mordor, I think, was a lot better. That the ending kind of is where it fell apart, because that was during the whole like loot fest, grind fest bullshit. But the gameplay, I absolutely love.
But you consider it a Lord of the Rings game, yes?
Yeah, okay. Because it has Shelob, it's got everybody in it. It expands that universe. If you're talking like what some of the one you're talking about, the Middle Earth, the RPG ones, or I've played that. I depending on if there's more than one Return of the King one. The one I played is on GameCube, where it's almost like a hack.
It covers on Aragon, if I remember right.
Yeah, it's like a hack and slash, but you can upgrade abilities. So with your Aragorn, I think you like plunge your sword into the ground and it creates like an explosion around you.
All the cutscenes are from the movie.
It's like, some from the movie, and then it gets back like into the game and stuff like that. So I remember that game actually being pretty cool at that time for the GameCube. So I would like to see more of that? Yes, of course. I would. I love Lord of the Rings. I think it's a universe that we haven't seen enough of. As far as will we see more, it's going to depend on how these shows do. These movies. Because you also released the Hobbits movies, and that I don't feel really didn't do shit for the franchise, because those movies, even though they were okay, maybe slightly well received, they didn't set the world on fire like what the original ones kind of did, which spawned all those games. And so if these shows do really, really well, then sure, why not? You could see a game out there for it. And I personally would like to. I would like maybe something along that lines, the hack and slash fighter, where you upgrade your stuff. Because I mean, it's not like that's an overabundance game that's out there right now. Yeah. Or even an RPG style one, or something other than, for lack of a better term, an Assassin's Creed clone.
Oh yes, I like that idea. But more to your point, though, great games do exist in the Lord of the Rings, world of gaming. And if you ever played Middle Earth, fantastic RPG, and I think that's where a Lord of the Rings game would shine. Again, though, I don't know if all of them necessarily have to be based off just a new show. It'd be really cool if it did, because they are, a powerhouse in the terms of fantasy. But you know what I wasn't even thinking of is there's a Smeagol game coming out. Do you remember hearing about that, where you're playing Golem?
No.
And I don't know if it's by the same guys. Oh god, I hate that I can't think of who's developing it. But there is a new game coming out that's based on Smeagol, Golem. So, that's not necessarily Lord of the Rings in the title, but if you consider that a Lord of the Rings game, then we have a new one coming out, and it's coming up soon. Would I like a lot more? Yes. What genre do I want them to be? I would love a good RPG, or what? I'm surprised, or maybe there is, and I've never played it. Is there not an MMO for Lord of the Rings?
I think there is an MMO, but there's not one on console. I think it's on like PC.
Okay, because I was gonna say, because that would definitely lend itself to that. Because that's the other thing that I always have an issue with, like Star Wars. Why are we narrowing ourselves to just this little bit of timeline when Middle Earth has a huge timeline? Why not just expand on that and do something way in the future or way?
Yeah, I mean, let me play as like Aragorn up until he meets Frodo, because he's clearly done a lot. Or let me play as like Isildur trying to fucking win this war that seems like it's unbeatable, and then the ending,
control the ring base.
Yeah, and the ending would be you win, even though Isildur does die like later on. Spoilers. In the forest when he's like shot in the back and stuff like that. But what was that war like? It couldn't have just been like, all right, we're all here at Mount Doom at the start of this fucking movie, let's go at it. It had to have been like a fucking build-up of Sauron starting as a nobody leading into this brick shit house. Oh, God, because even the Shadow of War and the War of Mordor games don't really go into Sauron, I don't think, starting up. They kind of do a little bit, but it's like not
a small kind of origin.
Yeah, but it's not. That's not really what you're playing. Is that segment of the timeline? I mean, it's a game that's so rich with everything that it's a shame that it only focuses on one part instead of maybe just creating original content. Because even still, at the end, Frodo, whatever, the ring's destroyed. I mean, there still has to be other people who want bad for the world or the realm or something like that. They can't just be this one fucking guy is the only bad guy in all of fucking the entire planet.
And even when you read the books, I don't think they even go past a few. I don't want to say it's a continent. It's only this much of the map. I mean, there's the rest.
It's all combined to the same territory. It seems like, yeah.
It's all these territories, but to get to basically answer your question is yes, I think we will see more games, because I already think there is a game in production that bases itself around that. So that would.
I don't think that we will, but would I like
by
to? By
definition,
yes.
And make more Lord of the Rings games.
Yeah,
I think, will the Amazon shows generate more? Hopefully. I mean, Telltale was doing Game of Thrones stuff based on a show, so maybe we can get something that's even more of a narrative story versus an action, hacker slasher. I really dig the concept of an Assassin's Creed type game because of how much fantasy is delved in that story. I mean,
that's what that's what you have now essentially, because they used like assets or something, because that was a big thing for like War of Mordor. It's like the way you kill somebody is straight from like Assassin's Creed or something that. So that's directly what they took it from. But I mean, I think you'll see a third of that one, but I don't think you'll see like another like Frodo, Boromir, Aragorn, like that familiar cast of people.
By following the movie, per se.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll see another one of those. I would like to.
Yeah,
I think that'd be cool, but then again, I would also like to see something move beyond that, like what Shadow of War did, a different time frame, but maybe just something not involving Sauron, or even Sauron's beginning, the rise of this army. He didn't just start with all this power.
Yeah, but maybe that's what they're going to explore in the new show, and maybe that's what we get in the new game. So, Daniel the Grey, love your question, man, and thank you for it. But guys, that is the end of our question segment. So we're going to move into how you enter in the contest, because guys, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch Lite. Now the way to enter and win that is subscribe to the channel, like the video you're watching, which is the one you're currently doing right now, and enter a comment that essentially is a hashtag for Nintendo Switch Lite. That helps us find you very easily. Now you can go back and watch previous episodes that are part of the contest and do the same thing. Like, comment, subscribe, and that will net you a entry into the Nintendo Switch Lite.
Altogether, there being 9 entries. We end the contest on the 14th. I will add that we are going to add a new color to that Switch Lite program if you want. I will personally shatter the screen for you if you want that done. So, Rare Collector's Edition, your choice.
Oh, God. He's a beater, he's a meter, and he's an eater, but the guy's all time. So, that is how you guys enter for the Nintendo Switch Lite. Now, if you guys want to get a hold of us and submit questions like the 5 we just answered, you guys can get a hold of us at LastcallProductionz@gmail.com. You guys can get a hold of us on our Instagram page at LastCallProductionz. You guys can get a hold of us at Twitter on at LastCallProductionz. And you can actually check out our Facebook page. It's up and running at LastCallProductionz or at LastCall928. And you guys can, if you guys are interested in an audio version only of the podcast, that is coming on, or it's out right now on Castbox.
Yep.
It usually comes a day or two after the YouTube video that you're watching. And to enter any of the contests, that does need to stick to the YouTube entry. So that is the end of this episode, Andrew. We went quite a bit on this one.
Yeah, it was good though.
I liked it, guys. So until next time, guys, my name is Craig Perales. That is Andrew Montemayor. Cheers. That sucks.
I don't go to bed till 1, so it's all right.
That was a good little hiccup. That was a good H cup.
Yeah, I was gonna.
So what'd you get at Taco Bell?
Gordita crunch, a quesadilla, and 1 taco.
With lettuce?
Yeah, I was about lettuce on that.
Ugh.
Oh yeah,
Dude, fast food lettuce is trash. It's always wet. You're gonna get it on that. Is it a beef taco?
Yeah.
It's gonna be fucking wet, gross, and fucking
Good. I fast food lettuce is good depending on where you get it from. I hate when they try to give you like the fucking husk though, the white part, because I gotta peel my sandwich apart, tear that fucking shit up. I'm like, who the fuck are you kidding that wants?
I'm not willing to spend $1 and get the gamble every time.
I don't pay anything extra for it.
Yeah, but if you get the husk, it's garbage. If you get like top choice, top half of the lettuce, it's good.
Yeah,
crunch.
but you said pay $1. You don't
how much
pay,
is your taco?
You don't pay for the lettuce.
I know, but your taco is...
Oh, the taco? I've never...
No, you pay for $1 for the lettuce, and you ask to remove it. It naturally comes in that $1 buy.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? You buy the taco,
okay,
it comes naturally. That's why I always get it without, because the taco's not going to get any worse without it. It can only get worse with it.
I've never had bad Taco Bell lettuce. The only time I ever have bad lettuce is when I get like a burger or something. I think like a few weeks ago, I went to Carl's Jr., and they usually give you 2 pieces of lettuce, but it was literally the husk twice, like layered on top of each other, and just the white part, no green. I was like, all right, well, out the fucking window with that.
You see all the yellow here and no green.
I was like fucking, what's that movie? National Lampoon, when they fucking go to Vegas. With fucking Eddie. Oh, give me some of the blue and Vegas some vacation? Of the yellow.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's blue. That's chicken. That's beef. Want some?
Give me some of the blue and some of the yellow. And don't get cheap on me.
Andrew, it's all we can eat. We only need one plate.
Oh, dude, I fucking love that.
I say that. Anytime I go to a buffet, that's my line.